Hello, Monroe School District. Welcome back to Taking the Fear Out of Canvas. Today, we are going to talk about some really important how-tos and answer some frequently asked questions. So this will be a little bit shorter, but please stay tuned because there's really some important things that we need to make sure that you are aware of. So to start off with, the first thing on my list is that we have been having some questions about students and Google. So on your first day, we went into your account and we talked about how you needed to sync Google with your account. Your students need to do the same thing. So if you are sending home tutorials to your students on how to use Canvas, this needs to be included. So we're going to head out to our account, and a student would do this exact same work. They're going to go into their settings. And in their settings, if they scroll down, right now, a student is probably going to have Google Drive be over here under Other Services. They need to just click on that, and that will make it a registered service with their account. This has to be done one time, and it needs to be done by every student in your class. So that's just really important that you make sure your students have done that if you plan on using Google with your Canvas account in any way. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was once you are in your account, let's head out to our dashboard. And I am going to go to my Sandbox account. And in my Sandbox account, let's talk about the importance again of modules. So you have your home page, and this is the landing place for you and your students, and it will look different depending on how you have set it up for your school. This is your landing place. Everything that works behind this landing page happens through modules. And so you're going to click on your modules if you plan on editing anything, and this is where you can create modules by week, by content, by subject matter. You can set all of those up however it works best for you. So here you are. If you are looking at an assignment, let's click on out here. And now I want to go and create this assignment. So again, we talked about how you can add Google into an assignment. So if I wanted to add a Google document in here, I'm going to head over to my PowerPlug, and I'm going to search down here for Google. And it's going to pop my Google up for me. As for a user in here the first time, and this is going to be for students if they're trying to open a document you have shared with them, instead of this popping up, they're going to need to scroll down to the bottom of this white page, and there's going to be a little authorize button down here. This is for the first time they use Google in Canvas. And I'm sorry this is such a pain, but this is for the safety of sharing documents with Google and Canvas and just making sure that you're getting the correct account associated with Canvas, etc. So it really is an important step, and it has to be done, and I know it's really a pain. So they scroll down here, and there's going to be an authorize button they need to authorize. Once they've authorized, then if they refresh, X this out, and try opening it again, and now they're going to run into the content for that's the Google access. So just really important that your students know that this is what they're going to have to do the very first time they use Google if you're adding Google in here. Okay, yesterday we talked about, I reinforced the concept of adding a Google assignment. Let's go through and let's do that again just to make sure. So I'm going to pause here for just a quick second. I'll be right back. I forgot to pull up my written instructions, so I'll show those to you in just a minute. Okay, so when you are creating a document, or when you want to add an assignment as a Google document, you're going to go ahead and set up your assignment. When it comes to submission type, you are going to click on External Tool, and then you are going to click on the Find button, and this is going to take you to the options of choosing what kind of assignment. You want to go to your Google Docs Cloud assignment. And this will open up your Google Drive now. So you can search through here and you can find out what assignment that you want to attach. You can go ahead and click on that. And now you're submitting that link. Go ahead and select that. And now that particular assignment has been added into the tool for submission for your students. Finally, you're going to want to make sure you click on this, load this tool in a new tab. That is really important so that it makes a copy of that into your students' Google Drive, and that's how they can answer it in a different tab, and then they'll be able to submit it. When they come to submit assignment, they'll be able to load it from their Google Drive. So the written instructions, a huge thank you to Susie Swanigan, who took these photos for us. And so here it is in photo instructions. I will include this as a link underneath this video so that you can have this if you want to have this document on hand or print it out. So it walks you through the picture instructions for what you need to do. This is just really important if you want to add a Google assignment to the work that the students are turning in. On another note, if you're creating a Blueprint course or you are sharing Google content with another teacher's class, make sure that when you go into your document that you are passing out to your students, make sure that you have shared this so that it goes beyond your class. What I mean by that is if I'm teaching a class and I'm the one that's sharing this through my Canvas assignment, my students will be able to get it. But if I am sharing this particular assignment with another teacher's class and the students go to open that, it's going to show that they need to have permission granted from me. So you're going to want to make sure that your share settings, we'll just come out here, make sure your share settings are set so that anyone with the link can open this, okay? And that way you're sharing the link, and so any student who has that link, even if it's in another class, will be able to use it. Okay, so couple of tips for using Google Documents in Canvas. The next thing I want to chat with you about is the People tab. So I'm going to head back to my dashboard. And in my course, I'm going to come over to People, and I want to talk with you a little bit about adding people into your class. And this is really important now that you're becoming more aware of Canvas and you're thinking about who should I give access to in Canvas, etc. When you go to add people, this is adding people into your class. You are going to go ahead and select the person, and then you are going to give them a role. Now, right now, we have several roles. We have teacher, we have a paraeducator role, a TA role. Please don't get this confused. This is an adult TA role. I will be adding a little later today. You will scroll through here and you will see a student TA role. So if you have a student who is helping you in Canvas, please make sure they have that student TA role. You do not want them having the ability to edit grades or edit your assignments, things like that. So really important that they have the student TA role. This is more like a teacher assistant who almost has the same permissions as if they were a co-teacher for you in your class. And then we have other roles. An observer role, this person really can only observe your class and what is going on in your class. They can't make any changes, etc. So sometimes this is what you want for a paraeducator who's working in your class and just wants to be able to see what's happening so they can help a student. We also have a paraeducator role, and this role gives them most of the permissions, but again, in this role, they can't edit grades or they can't edit and add content. So I'm going to take you out. I want to show you these permissions really quickly because you don't have access to that, but I want you to see what these roles look like. So I'm going to head over to my administrator account, and I can bring up the permission roles for you so you can see what these look like. So as a student, students only have particular permissions. A teacher has virtually all permissions for that class. A paraeducator, those permissions are a little bit more limited in terms of like I say, adding, editing, or deleting assignments, so that they can't go in and make changes to your class per se, but they can come in and oversee the work that they would need to do to help a student in your class or to help small groups in your class. A designer role, we aren't really using that, but that would be somebody whose job was just to set up your course for you. Wouldn't that be nice to have that person? And then an observer role, again, pretty much all they can do is they can see the content in the class. And so those are the roles that we have set up right now in Canvas. We can add more roles. So if you have a particular need and you need a special role set up for somebody, please reach out to Nile or I, and we can add that role for you, and we can adapt that as necessary. But just know it's probably take us a couple days at this point to be able to do that. So I wanted to show you what those roles look like. I'm going to go ahead and head back to my class, because again, I want to show you just a couple more things about adding a person into your class. As you add people into your class, again, just keep in mind, be really thoughtful about what kind of roles that you want them to have and what you want them to be able to do in their class. I may just change this so it doesn't say TA, because I think that really is confusing. Again, do not put students in this role, because they have virtually the same permissions as you as a teacher has. So later today, there will be a student one in there. Parents, let's talk about parents for a minute. Please do not add parents into your accounts right now. That is something that we need to do at the district level. And in fact, the best way to add a parent role into your class is to encourage parents to go to the Canvas app. And this is going to give them the best view of the class and when assignments are due and be able to open assignments and things like that. They can go out on any device and they can download a Canvas app. There are 3 different Canvas apps. One's for a student, one's for a teacher, one's for a parent. They need to grab the parent one. And when they grab the parent app, they need to have a code. They're gonna go through and they're gonna sign themselves in. They need to sign up with the email account that is associated with their student Skyward account. That's really important. If those don't match, they aren't going to be allowed in. So they need to match that up, and then they will need to have their student's pairing code. And that student's pairing code can be found in the settings. So you go up the student, this is the student. The student would go up to account in settings, and on the right-hand side, they're going to see pair with an observer, and this is where their account code is. And so the student would give this to their parent, and then the parent would add that code into that app, and then they would be able to have that big view of their own students' work in the class and be able to see a calendar with due dates, etc. Now, we aren't encouraging parents right now to become a part of this. I think there's so much going on for parents right now that I would kind of discourage you from pushing that out and saying, hey, parents, here's a way to access your student stuff. Right now, they're at home anyway. The best way for a parent to access their student account is to look over their student shoulder at their Canvas account. But in case you have parents who are just really, chomping at the bit and you feel like they can just kind of go on their own because we are not providing support for this right now, then now you know enough to get them started in terms of how they can go and get their child associated with an account through an app. Okay, so that is parent accounts. So I've had some questions and I've had people say, could you go through this again? Maybe I went a little bit too quickly in terms of how do you link content in your class. So let's say you have set up your homepage with links, and so students can click here to find the different links, or you have it set up in a secondary way. This works all the same no matter how you do this. You can link pretty much anything that you create in Canvas to something else in Canvas. So let me show you how to do that again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Edit. And once I click Edit, here's my little box that I can work with. Again, these little dots on the side, I can change my view so I can see how much view I want to have of the content. I'm going to make that a little bigger just to make it a little easier. I don't want to make it too big because otherwise I'm scrolling from top to bottom because your rich content editor does not move with the content. So if I want to link an assignment, I'm in edit. I'm going to click on what I want to, which picture, which icon, which word I want to have it linked to. And as long as it's highlighted, now I'll be able to link it. I'm going to head up to the link box. And if it is already linked to something, remove that link. And then it should still remain highlighted. Okay, I'm going to come back up here to my link. And now I want to link it to a course link. This will bring up everything in my class that I want to link it to. So if I'm ready to link something to an assignment, to a quiz, I can link it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this because I want to link it to an assignment. This will bring up my assignments for me. So I want to link it to this assignment right here. I'm going to click on that. And as easy as that, it has linked this picture icon to that assignment in my course. Okay, so again, we'll do it. Let's do it one more time just to make sure we have it. So if I want to link a language arts assignment, I'm going to click on that picture, make sure that it's highlighted. I'm going to come up to the link, remove any link that's already there. So if you are changing this week by week, just remove that old link, click on it again, add a course link, and you will know what you want to attach to it. So click on your icon, go find what you want to attach to it. Here's the assignment I want to attach to that link. Click on that assignment, and now that assignment is clicked to this link. So when a student comes and clicks on this, they're going to go out to that assignment. Okay, notice when I hover over here, it tells me what is linked to there. So this is my assignment called Pages 1 to 5. I linked it in there twice. Let's see if I have any other links. I do. So I have a math link here. And I have another language link here. So I've already have several links set up, but if you forget which ones you've done or what's connected to what, you can just scroll over that and it will tell you. This happens when you're in edit mode only. Okay, let's look at how do we add an external link. So if I wanted to add, I'm just going to come up here to a tab I have open. I have a tab on libraries. If I want to add this link, I'm going to copy my link, my external link, and then I'm going to go back out to my Canvas, and I want it linked to this box right here. So it's highlighted. I'm going to come up to my link. I'm going to remove the link that's already there. I'm going to click on my link again. This time I'm going to select external links. And this brings up a box for me. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to Command C is copy, Command V is paste. I'm going to paste that link into my box, and then I'm going to go ahead and click done. And now that link is now attached to this box. So I can't check it in edit, but when I'm finished, I'll go back and double check that for you. So again, an external link, you're going to do the same process as the other ones, except so you'll remove the link, click on this again, and now you'll have an option for external link, or you'll have an option for a course link. And so you can click and you can add that in either way. So that's how you would hyperlink icons, different things within your Canvas pages. So I'm going to, if you, let's say you had a video, you have a picture of yourself at the top, and you had a video description of yourself attached to that. You can link a picture just by highlighting the picture, come up to link, and it's going to give you an option. What do you want to link it to? So you could have a, click on my picture and there's a video of you introducing yourself or talking about some things that are important to you, or sharing a message with your students for that day or that week. So lots of different things that you can do with these links in Canvas so that it makes it kind of fun and interactive for students. I mean, I don't know, I'm just talking off the top of my head right now, but it could be really fun to have like a bingo card set up here one day. And in that bingo card, they could click on different links and it takes them out to different book talks that you've linked in through YouTube. So maybe for today, we're just going to have a book talk day. So click on 5 different book talks and you have them all kind of linked in here in different ways. You could either put the title of the book, and you can even put a picture of the book in here. Or you could have a surprise. So you could just have, just a book icon, and they just go through and click on the different ones, and they get to watch little YouTube videos of book talks and see if there's a book they'd be interested in reading about. So lots of really fun, creative things that you can do within Canvas just by being able to add external links or course links into your content. So if you want to go ahead and take a pause, if you need to go back and look at that again, I'll pause for just a minute. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Spend a few minutes thinking about how could you create something fun with these links. Since we're kind of attaching this class to some STEM, maybe you could have a fun little STEM thing in here where you could have them click on things and it takes them out to different STEM projects, and pick a STEM project that you want to do this week. Okay, so that was hyperlinks. Next thing I want to chat with you about, I want to go back out to the Commons again. So getting some questions about the Commons now that people have been experiencing Commons. What are some other ways that you can use the Commons? So there's a couple of things I want to share with you. You'll notice that we're now up to almost 103,000. I think when we started about 2 weeks ago, it was at like 96,000. So people are continuing to add content. If you are adding content into the Commons and sharing it, which I encourage you to do, because then it's going to continue to increase this number for users all around the globe, so that you share, but you can also go out and you can find information too. So if you're up here, let's say you're looking for a particular standard, type the standard in here. And I bet you will find things based on that particular standard. So when you're adding things into here, those little tags, it will ask you as you're adding in to add tags. Those tags are really helpful. Add as much information. So if you know that this is attached to a certain standard, put that standard in the tag. That will help other people as they're searching for your information to find your information. Okay, so a couple of different things. Let's look at the filter. This will be really helpful for you if you're looking for particular things in terms of grade level. You can filter it down this way. If you're looking for certain types of information, you can filter it that way. Some other available resources, and this is what I really want to draw your attention to, is that we can set up for you some specific groupings within the Commons. So right now, we have it set up, you can share with just Monroe School District. If you share with just our district, this will pop up information with just our district, and you can see we have over 500. That's so awesome. So people are really sharing out. What a great world we live in to be able to do that. If you want to set up a specialty group in here, that needs to be done by Niall and I. So please let us know. But let's say that you wanted to be able to share things out with just a 3rd grade team, and so you wanted to share that out. Please go ahead and do that. And let us know. We can set that up, and then you have access to only those certain people within that, only certain people that fall into that group. So we can set that up. So for example, 1 year the Hidden River math team asked me to set up a group for them. And so there's a group here, and the people who are associated with the math team are only a part of this particular group. So they share that content between themselves. So if you have reasons to have something that is kept exclusively into a small group, let us know. We can do that for you as well. Sometimes it helps when you start getting this much information. Either you have really good naming conventions, or maybe you set up small groups so that you can quickly come out here, click on your group, and there's the content for just that group. So, so there's just some information for you in terms of some options that are available for you out in the Commons. I strongly suggest you use the Commons. Great way to find information, great way to share information, etc. Okay, let's head back. I want to talk with you just for a couple minutes about blueprint courses. So I think we're at a point now where a lot of people are starting to consider blueprints, what that's going to look like. So let me just show you what that is going to look like from a couple of perspectives. So if this was my home landing page, students come in and they see this every day, then I'm going to want this to stay the same because I have put personal information in here, etc. I can have this remain the same according to how I set up my blueprint course. So I'm going to come back out to my blueprint course. Here's one that we're developing for the elementaries right now. And a blueprint course, if you can think of it this way, you have your class, and your class is all that information that your students see. But I know I've probably beat this to death, but behind your course, you have the content, and the content is kept into modules. And so when you're creating a blueprint course, you're going to want to have your content in your blueprint course. You aren't going to want to really attach any of the fancy stuff anywhere in here, because the way a blueprint course works, you'll know it's a blueprint course. It has this little blue box here. This is a place where only teachers can be a part of. This is not a place for students. So this is a place where teachers come in and they can add content. Once they've added content, and they're ready to sync it, then they'll push a little sync button, and we don't have it. I don't have classes associated yet, but they would click on a sync button, and then this information would get synced out to the classes that are associated with this particular blueprint. It only pushes out the new content, things that have changed. And so if you're just adding content into here, you can add content for weeks ahead, months ahead, maybe you're a day or two ahead. You can sync it as often as you need to, but there's a team of people associated with a blueprint course. So make sure that you have some norms set up with the team of people when you're going to sync the content, what kind of content you're going to add, because whenever this gets synced, whatever is in here gets pushed to all of the classes that are associated with that. So it's important to set up those norms. If this information gets synced out to your class, you can change anything in your class, and only your class will see those changes. The changes that you make in your class, the next time this information is synced out, it will not override those changes that you have made. It only brings in the new content. So, I've had lots of questions about how that works, which it's kind of confusing, but I wanted to really clear that up. So, again, the important thing to keep in mind is when you're in your blueprint course, this is a place to create your content, and this is a place where this will get pushed into your class that has your students in it. You can change all of that stuff where your students are, and it doesn't affect anybody else. It doesn't affect the blueprint course, anything. It only makes it change on your end. So that's why it's important. If we had a homepage attached here, every time that you sync this, if you made any changes to that home page, it would then change the homepage on your class. And so if you had fun things about yourself, etc., set up. So that's why we want to keep a blueprint course having just content. So I hope that kind of clears that up just a little bit about a blueprint course. And a blueprint course, it can only be created by Niall and I. So make sure that Niall or I are in on that process when you're ready to set it up. We'll set it up for you, just the basic structure of that. And then you and your team have the ability then to go with it, and we'll set up the permissions so that you're able to sync it, and then it's yours to take off and run with as you would like. So, okay, one last thing for today. I had a question from somebody who went out to our website today, and they were probably doing a little maintenance on our website. So our website was down for a minute. And so we get this message, and they wanted to go out to Canvas. What a great question. How do I get there? Because I haven't shared the other thing with you of how to get out to Canvas. So let me tell you, if you can't access Canvas from our district homepage, you need to go out to monroe.instructure.com. Again, that's monroe.instructure.com. Instructure is actually the company. It's a bigger company, and Canvas is a part of that company. So monroe.instructure.com. And that's the way that you would get there without having to go through any websites or whatever. That's the direct link to our Canvas account. So, okay. Thank you so much for sharing things with us. Niall and I really appreciate that. We're learning from you guys too. This is so great. Canvas is such a big place to be able to come, and has so many rich resources and so much you can do with it, that we're all continuously learning, and they're continuing to give us great things to use within our classes as well. So appreciate your comments, your feedback. And if you have any new discoveries, please share with us, because that is awesome learning. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a really great day.